Let's go. Welcome to episode 2 of the Alacrity podcast. Now, I have a few intentions for this podcast, and I really want to share a little bit of my origin story and try to share with you the reason for what I'm doing, why I'm doing this in the first place, be intentional with this. Now, I've got a video business called Alacrity Media, where we specialize in kind of helping impact-focused leaders with story-driven video strategy. Now, I recently have done the Myers-Briggs Test, and for anyone out there that's never done it, I highly recommend it, just to kind of get a better understanding of yourself and gain a little bit more self-awareness in your tendency. And I got ENFPA. Now it's like a campaigner personality. Now, I don't want to dive too deep into it, but I'll share with you guys, whoever's listening, the kind of like quote in the beginning that shares what kind of my personality trait. So there's a quote in the beginning that says, "It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. And if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing, it doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dreams, for the adventure of being alive." And when I read that, like after I've done the test, they show you like your profile and that was like the first line of like, there's like a quote there. And I was like, damn, that's me. Now, it's really great because it kind of helps you understand yourself a little bit more and see where you're weak and where your strengths and your weaknesses are, so that you can improve upon it. Now, for me, I've got like at the end, I've got the P, and that's like I tend to be a prospecting person. So I really like analyze everything before I make a decision. And so sometimes that paralyzes me, paralysis by analysis. Anyway, I share that because that I really resonate with that right now. And it's really part of the reason why I'm doing the Alacrity podcast, is because I really want to connect with awesome, cool, like-minded people and really get to know them on a deeper level, and through casual conversation, diving into their stories and like understanding what they've learned, and that makes me feel alive. That shit really makes me feel alive, honestly. And going back, I don't know, I'll go back to kind of my origin story now. I can't remember if I shared it. This is like my third take, because like the first two is like, oh my God, I was too in my head. I'll share a little bit about my childhood. I'll share a story about my childhood. So I have an eclectic childhood growing up. I grew up overseas. I was born in the Philippines. I left when I was 4 or 5. Grew up in the Middle East, in a country called Bahrain, the Kingdom of Bahrain, and it was great. Now I want to share with you, like just after high school, I was, that time, I think every kid is pressured to kind of know what they're supposed to do. But I didn't until I watched a couple of shows and read a couple of books, mainly The Passion of a Chef by Michael Ruhlman, Kitchen Confidential, The French Laundry Cookbook. That cookbook's amazing, with Thomas Keller. And just like really diving into to like the lives of other chefs and like that, and seeing how passionate they were for what they did, and that energy, in hindsight, I call it the Alacrity. That's why I named my business Alacrity Media. That's why I call this Alacrity Podcast. Alacrity stands for brisk, cheerful readiness, and for me, it's that raw signal. It's that raw energy when curiosity turns into a raging inferno. Now, long story short, I became a chef for almost 10 years, I think, in total. I traveled, I worked in places like Dubai, working for 5-star hotels, and eventually landed, I worked in fine dining establishments, worked under Michelin-starred chefs, and I was really into it. I slept. Before I slept, that's what I thought about. When I woke up, that's what I thought about. And it was fun, man. I fucking loved it. Anyway, did that for a couple of years, and then 2-3 years down the line, it turned into almost like, I'll take full responsibility because I kind of allowed myself to be complacent in where I got stuck into the routine. Don't get me wrong. I was really skilled at what I did, and I was still doing it. It's just when you get into a routine of like day in, day out, and the shifts, it's like it came to a point where something that I loved so much turned into a means to an end, and I was just going through the motions, and it was a little bit sad because this was something that I really, really loved to do when I was starting out. But I had to make a decision to transition out of it, because if I wasn't doing it with all my heart like I used to, and also at the same time, my wife got pregnant, and the lifestyle of that kind of career and job isn't conducive for a family life balance. Anyway, I kind of transitioned out of it. I might go back into it, who knows, but like for the moment, I'll just take a pause on that. And right about the same time, I found my new passion with videography and filmmaking. Now, this quick origin story is turning into a long story, but I'll save this new passion with videography story for another day, and really go into and really share and talk about Alacrity a little bit more, so we can get a little bit more intentional about what I'm doing here, why I'm doing this, and like, whoever's listening, hopefully you could benefit, because at the end of the day, if I'm able to bring value to whoever's listening, it's a win. It's a fucking win. Now, so I wrote the intro down yesterday, 30 minutes before we kind of recorded, and I just want to share it again. So that Alacrity, that, like, I feel like there's so many people out there. Like I was there. I had that moment in my life where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm still kind of discovering. It's a journey, right? So, but I still feel and believe, I firmly believe that everyone has it within them. So my goal here is for the listener. I'll just read this. I firmly believe everyone has the Alacrity within them, which is basically the shit they're passionate about. Alacrity stands for brisk, cheerful readiness. It's that energy when curiosity turns into a raging inferno. Now, because of that, my intention for the listener is to hopefully help them discover their own Alacrity, or even just help them gain insight on their journey by hearing the amazing stories of other legends on that path. It's an excuse to connect with cool, like-minded people and really get to know them on a deeper level through casual conversation, diving into their stories of their journey and what they've learned, and is also, as a side benefit, an organic way of creating content. Now, if like right now I'm pushing as hard as I can because I'm not used to doing this, talking in front of a camera with no one in front of me except a lens. And so when you're in a podcast, when you're talking to someone, even though it's through Zoom or like it's even better in person, and you're actually having a conversation and you're connecting with someone, people can feel that. People can feel it when you're faking it, when you're scripting shit out. And so this is also an excuse for me to kind of communicate and talk in like an organic way. It's a process. So I guess that's like essentially my intentions here. I just want to have fun with this shit. I really do. I really do. And also, like, part of what I do with my video business is also connecting with people and kind of trying to, pull out of them really like their essence through a conversation. Because unless you're like actor grade level skill in front of a camera, it's really difficult and challenging. Sorry, I've got a monitor there, so sometimes I might look at myself. Anyway, it's really challenging to just try to be yourself in front of the camera. So, yeah, I guess I blabbered on too much. This is episode 2. I'm gonna get a few amazing people in here, hopefully, and have some amazing conversations. Hopefully build a community. Like, if anyone's listening there and you really feel like you're benefiting from what you're hearing, let me know. Reach out to me, send me a DM through Instagram or whatever. Comment, subscribe, wherever you're hearing this. Give us a follow on Spotify. I'm still trying to figure out how to get on Apple iTunes. We'll get that down the road. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this journey. I'm excited to share like a lot of like there's a book by Carol Dweck called Mindset, and that book really changed my life because it turned me from a fixed mindset into a growth mindset. And essentially, like, everything I do that's growth oriented, that's, whether it's anything, like, I want to share another story, but I feel like I've been dragging on now. I guess I'll just do it. I'll do it before I'll end this clip. So when one day when I was still working as a chef, I was bored one time, and me and my wife, we were at Cash Converters, or the other one. I don't know what's the name of the other one. Anyway, we were at like a secondhand shop, and I saw like a secondhand guitar, a cheap guitar. And I used to play music in high school. Now, I didn't put it on the first episode, but Kevin shared there because it was before I started. Well, I have it recorded, but I didn't put it up there. But he shared, like, I was naturally inclined to like dive deep into what I like. If I like something, I'll dive deep. I'll dive 1,000% into it, learn everything about it. And I don't give a fuck what other people think. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to live it. I'm going to breathe it. And if I don't dig it anymore, I'm just going to move on. And that's just, I think that was just my natural state. That was me. And Anyway, so I bought the guitar. And as soon as I strummed those strings, it woke that fucking Alacrity within me again. I was like, yo! And so I dive deep. I dive 1,000% in. I get an electric guitar. I buy this mic that I'm using now. And I go out into the town or the city that I'm in, Bunbury. Right now I'm based in Bunbury. And I start busking in the streets. I remember the first night I bust, I think I got like 20 or 30 or $40. Yeah, something like that. And, you know, it wasn't about the money, but it was like that feeling of being alive. I felt so alive. And I haven't felt that way in such a long time. And because of that, that led me on the journey of wanting to document it. And so in the process of documenting it, this was before I started videography. It was so bad. It was horrible. Like, I was so bad at filming myself. I had like a Nikon action camera. You know, I didn't even have a GoPro. And I remember filming myself. I placed the camera. I didn't even have it on a tripod. I placed it on top of an amplifier. The amplifier I was using. And because of the vibration of the music, it kind of fell and was filming the sky. And I still edited it in like Windows Movie Maker. And like I was thinking, it still got the sound, so it'll still be good. But it was horrible. It was shit. But I still put it out there. I posted it on Facebook. Like, but the point is, no matter how shitty it was, I still did it. And I guess, I'm just gonna fall in love with my shitty art. And that whole process of me putting it out there and then wanting to improve, wanting to learn, diving into YouTube and YouTube Uni and getting better and implementing what I've learned and trying it, implementing it, trying it, and eventually got paid to do it. Like, oh, that's another story. But that's the Alacrity, man. That's for me, business is like an extension of myself. I want to build a life where, especially now, we're able to do this. We have the opportunity. We're in a time right now, the age of opportunity. We're able to create opportunities for ourselves, for the things we're passionate about. And I guess what I'm trying to say for anyone out there is kind of, feeling like you don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know that whatever it is I'm doing makes me feel alive, and I'm passionate about it, and I love what the fuck I'm doing. And especially it's all about self-awareness. So like really understanding yourself. So I'm just growing and learning more about myself and what really makes me feel alive, because I know when I operate from that place, from that state, it's a win-win situation for everyone. And yeah, I'm really speaking from the heart here. Like this is it. And I'll also at the same time, I know I look at things from a long-term perspective. I'm here for that slow growth, building that foundation. So I'll probably stop blabbering now, but thank you for listening. This is episode 2. We're going to get a few amazing people on here, hopefully, and just talk about their stories, just share stories, build a positive space, build a positive place where people can just, be themselves and just be. Much love to you. And thanks for listening. Subscribe. Subscribe.